Everyone, Blake Sloan here with Sloan Realty Group. Just wanted to shoot a brand new market update for you. Just finished this week's radio show here on WRNN Radio. And some great news, actually, where we saw the market bounce back from a horrendous January, February. The brand numbers out, and they're fantastic, at least for base what's going on now. We're probably going to see that change drastically because everything happens in arrears, right? Rates got back down to 5.99 early March, which is great, right at the end of February. And so then obviously the Iran war came in, and then that drove rates up significantly, which put more brakes on it. But Myrtle Beach is very, very seasonal. Right now, we just hit that spring market. We see massive amount of buyers come in town, even in face of what's happening in terms of interest rates. And so we have a great window if you think about selling or buying. And I'm telling you, this spring market we talked about in today's show is the most important I've seen probably almost a decade, because everything interest rate driven. There's some massive cracks, I feel, what I'm seeing in the economy, massive cracks in the housing market in multiple different areas, and it's kind of bleeding into Myrtle Beach. But just give you a quick overview of numbers where they came in at. Single family resale homes bounced back last month from where they were at. The good news is it's up month versus month, but year versus year, they're down 4.6%, with overall, if you look at single family, all price ranges, sales up 4.4%, which is great. So there are 479 home sales. If you go back to February, only 362. So a big jump there from February 362 to March 479, which is great. Prices, what everybody cares about, up 3.4% as a whole, which is great news. Right now, the median price, $480,655. The key, though, to look out for is it's down for the last 3 months in a row. For example, December hit a new record at $555,000. It dropped down January to $509,34, then February 485, and then now 480. And so you're seeing that trend go down significantly, and that's because we've seen buyer demand drop significantly in the face of rates and a struggling economy, where people are seeing some different things happen. The one thing to look at, if you look at some prices, the middle class prices, I guess you say, like 269 to 378, prices down 0.3%. From 379 to more up, it's down 1.3% overall. But the good news is 3.4% if you take the entire market. You do want to break that down in segments and things like that overall. If you look at days on market, they're great news here. Actually down a little bit right now, 114 days on market for a resale home to sell. It was 123 in February. So great news there overall. Supply, which is the amount of homes for sale, right now it's 4.8 months. Pretty much flat with where it was last month. It's less than 6 months, which is where you see the threshold from seller's market to buyer's market for homes. Technically, it's still a seller's market, which is great. Showings per listing. The most important two numbers are these two numbers. How many showings does the average listing get the entire time it's listed? So right now, it's 4.1 showings per listing, which is good. It's good that it's up a little bit. It's up 5.1%. It's not good for most home sellers because 4 home showings are not going to sell the property. How many does it take on average to get a contract? It takes 12.7. And so you need really 3 times the amount of showings the average listing gets before you get a contract. And so what that means is most properties are not getting enough showings. They're not getting enough marketing, not getting enough differentiation. So if you list with any average agent, you're going to get 4 showings. The problem is you need 12.7. And so that's a key number I want you to pay attention to overall. Look at condo sales. Condo sales bounced back very, very nicely, thankfully. Year versus year, sales are up 8.3% with 390 condos closed last month. The crazy part, a new low was in January, 261, February, 328, and then March now up to 390. So that's great news. We've sold a lot of condos this past month too ourselves. Prices, average sale price up 8.1% year versus year, which is amazing. We're still down from where we were, and this is average sale price. November is 293, December dropped down 255, up in January 266, and then a new low in February 241. Boom, March it went from 241 to 268. So great news there overall for condo owners. Median price down 3.6% year versus year. The absolute all-time low here since we've been tracking this is down at least the last 4 years. February is 200,000. Right now, it's up to 210, which is great news. But same challenge there. Days on market, 129 days on market for condos that do sell. We're looking at the data, less than 40% of condos have been selling, meaning that 60% don't sell at the end of that term. And so the condo market has struggled, right? HOAs, assessments, things like that. Overall, last month we covered where year versus year price change was down 13%, which is about $2,000 a month for an average $200,000 condo, right? So it bounced back a little bit, which is great news with that. Right now, major problem though, same thing, showings per listing. The average condo right now only gets 2.5 showings per listing. Good news, is up 19%, but the problem is it takes 8.7 showings to actually get a contract. And so you need 3 to 4 times the amount of showings that the average listing gets to get a condo under contract. And what does that mean for you? It means you can't use an average agent anymore. You can't use a friend of a friend from church, wherever. You need somebody. And this is what we talked about today's show. The biggest mistake everyone makes is thinking that agents are just a commodity. It could not be any further than the truth. Just like in doctor and law, you want the absolute best, most aggressive agent to help you with the largest asset, who can give you the marketing dollars you need, give you the sales push that you need. Our team, we just shared, makes 14,000 phone calls per week. You probably received some of those. And we follow up, right? Because it's what we're supposed to do. If you put a name and phone number in a site, our job's to call you. And that's what we're very, very, very good at. And so here's the key thing to take away. The spring market, by far the best time. We went over some data today where the spring market has massive amount of advantage for home sellers. A couple quick highlights of that. The title was Spring Sellers Have a Massive Edge. Here's why. It talks about there's more buyers looking. The busiest month that buyers look, March, April, and May, the entire year. And it's not even close. You look at the graphs. Also, which you may get more offers. The months with the most offers on properties are March, April, May, and June. Those are by far much higher than any other month of the year. Also, homes usually sell faster. Guess which months homes sell the fastest? The fastest is tied between April and May. Second fastest is June and then March. And so those are the highest ones overall. What that means is they also talked about on today's show, there's a Realtor.com article. I may send you a separate video on it. The week of April 12th to the 18th, that range there, properties sell faster and for an average of over $5,000 more that week of the year than any other week of the year, and that's across the nation. And so bottom line is, here's the deal. It's a great time to get the property market. I do think you may see a slowdown here in the summer months, especially the war continues on and interest rates stay high. And so if I'm telling my clients I own a bunch of properties on the investment side with an investment fund, we're liquidating a lot of that property right here in this season when everyone's coming in town. So if you're thinking about selling, reach out to me immediately. 843-808-SOLD. Time is definitely of the essence. And so here's a couple things you could do. Call me right now, 843-808-SOLD. You can also, on the email, super important, there's a button that says click here for home value. We spend a massive amount of money for that tool, over $3,500 a month per month for you to have your own basically stock trader dashboard. There's no CNBC stock ticker for home values, right? So we give you your own dashboard. Any property, anywhere in the country, it's a free service. You can use it. You have a dashboard for every property that you own, real-time equity, real-time mortgage balance, what your neighbors are selling for, all that stuff in one place. It's free service, no obligation, no hassle. You also get an instant cash offer on there. You can get updates weekly, monthly, whatever you want. And also on the email, you can search MLS in the absolute most advanced search site on the web. It's right there. You can click here to search more, and you get a cash offer. And last thing, we're ramping up for the spring summer market. If you're thinking about getting real estate, if you've been in real estate and watched this, we're looking to hire our team. We have not pulled back spending yet, still spending 6 figures a month. And so if you want to know more how that works, any of that here to serve you, 843-808-SOLD. We'll see you back here next month.